Hi, my name is Lisa Mansour from New York Cake in New York City. Today I'm here to show you how to make a three-tier cake that looks really special, that is very easy to do, and I'll show you the steps. The first thing I'm doing is taking satin ice gum paste. I generally want to knead it a little bit at first when it comes right out of the tub, just to wake it up a little bit and make it more pliable. First thing I'm going to show you are these sugar flowers. You could either do a 50% fondant, 50% gum paste, or you could do straight up gum paste. So first I'm just rolling out a little bit. Just to let you know what the difference is between fondant and gum paste is. Gum paste actually dries much quicker than fondant. So if you needed the decoration to dry quicker, you would use gum paste. You would never cover a cake with gum paste. Gum paste is more for like flowers and things like that. Fondant is generally more for the coverage and like fantasy flowers. But if you wanted to do lifelike flowers, you definitely would only use gum paste. You would not do a 50-50 mix. So I'm just rolling it in thin enough that I could get it through my pasta machine. The reason I use a pasta machine is because it actually rolls out evenly, better than my hands could do. So I have it on the smallest setting, and I'm just rolling it through once, and it's totally smooth. I'm going to do it one more time to make it a little thinner. Okay, and then actually I'm going to do it one more time to setting number 3. So I want it a little bit thinner. This basically ensures that it's one thickness all the way through. Okay, so generally I would do this in an assembly line just because there's so many of them on here. So I would roll out a long piece like this and cut a bunch of them at a time. So I'm going to start, I have actually a 5-petal cutter. Okay, this is a basic blossom petal cutter in different sizes that I'm just going to push down. And I always jiggle so it cuts a little cleaner. Also, you could also put cornstarch on the bottom and it'll prevent it from sticking. So I'm just cutting out a bunch of them. Then you pull away your gum paste. And you want to protect what you're not using because it does dry out. So just put it under plastic. Okay. Now, this is what it looks like. In order to make it sort of like lacy, I actually took, these are little rose petal cutters if you want to make roses. I took them, for example, and I put it in the middle of each petal. I push down, and I jiggle as well to get a cleaner cut, and I lift up. And you do it to every single petal. Okay, so now I'm working on my smaller flower, so I use my smaller petal cutter. That's proportionately correct. And I'm just doing all the cutouts. So now we have these flowers. You can make them ahead and let them totally dry if you want for the ones that are flat on the cake, but for the ones that are curved like this, you want to apply them while they're still wet. So for example, this one is still wet. It didn't totally air dry. So I'm going to take a little bit of water and use it as glue because these are light. You don't need a heavy gum glue. And basically, if I want one, let's say right here, I'll just push it right in. I could take a ball tool, indent it a little bit, And then I could put a little more water and add a little pearl. Okay. Now for the ones that are standing up, these obviously have to dry. So you would let these dry for a couple of hours or overnight, and then it would stand up. I have some that are dry that I made a couple of hours ago. So basically I'm just gonna do the same thing, add some water. And just push it on, push a little bit to make sure it's secure. And then maybe I'll do one more to finish.